Hello guys, this is Amit, and today I'm going to show you how to dial in a very nice, crunchy, heavy metal guitar tone, right? So for this I'm going to use my Ibanez HPAH 421 BWB. Yeah, I know it's a long, lengthy name. And this has DiMarzio Fusion Edge pickups in this, and yeah, they sound good. So let's get started. So I'm sharing my screen. I'll do all the editing thing in Podgo Edit. I have my Podgo device down there on the floor. Yeah, it's a floorboard, makes sense. So here I'm going to start with I'm going to start with one of my favorite amplifier in Podgo, and this is 5150, Peavey 5150 modeling. And I always like to keep all the parameters, at noon. It's a good starting point always. So before I, start changing the drive, bass, mid, treble, all the parameters, before I like to change that, first I'll always start with, checking my levels. So I'm using Podgo, from the direct out to my audio interface, PreSonus AudioBox i2, and the gain knob is set around 11 o'clock, 11:15 around, and from there I'm using Studio One as my digital audio workstation, and I'll start with I'll start level checking. So as you can see, this at the noon, the channel volume is set to noon, and it will clip. See, so it's already very much. So what I'll do is I'll keep my channel volume at around 3. 3 will be a good starting point. And after changing this to 3, you can see that now this came to minus 5 point something, around minus 6 dB. Yeah. So minus 6 dB is a good starting point. So from there we can now change all the things in the Podgo. So first I'll increase the drive. Yeah, because it's a metal tone, we like drive. Don't increase the drive too much because it don't sound really good. Drive should be minimal, to a certain saturation point, and not more than that. So as you can see that this amplifier is already sounding really well in these in this area. So channel volume is set to 3, and what I'll do is I'll try to increase the treble. And I always try to keep my presence. I'll always try to keep my presence in the same ballpark, as the treble. So a little more than that, because your presence is good. As you can see that the amplifier is already sounding really good. So yeah, as always we can use a distortion pedal in front, but after that, first my goal is to create a tone which is sounding good without a distortion pedal, and that distortion pedal will add more, it will enhance the tone more. But first we'll only try to create a good metal tone on its own. So okay, I forgot to tell you, I'm using the Modern Peavey cab, and this cab is already in my Dropbox. The link is below. So this is a free IR that I got. I'm not sure from where I got, but it sounds really good. That's why I always use it. Even I use this impulse response in my previous in my last song, Adrenaline. It's on YouTube. You can listen to it. It's a nice metal song, fast up tempo. So it's a very good IR. It's free, but it's good. So yeah, my presence is around 7.2. As you can see that this tone don't need any distortion pedal, because it's sounding really good on its own. So but what I'll do is I'll try to increase a little master, because the master gives that aggression to the tone. So what I'll do is I'll keep my master around 7. Okay, so what is most people are confused about these two functions, because channel volume and master, these are very very different from each other. Channel volume will increase the level, means it will only increase the dB, the level of the patch, but the master will boost the power amp section, the modeled power amp section, to be precise. So this will change the character of the tone. The channel volume will not change the character, it will only increase the volume. The master will change the character of the tone. So these two things are very very different from each other. You try experimenting these with these two parameters and you will get to know that. And in metal tone, I don't really like to keep the sag. I keep the sag at 0, because sag is I can't explain this, because it makes the tone more warm, and when the sag is at 0, it's more edgy, more crisp. So I like the crisp tone. So the master is around 7, and now let's save it. So as you can see, this tone is very woofy, very fluffy. So there is one more function at the end, and this is called resonance. Okay, before going to resonance, let me clear these 4 functions, these 5 functions, which is sag, hum, ripple, bias, and bias X. This is actually Line 6 exclusive. Line 6 do their modeling stuff spot on. So they try to imitate that power amp section with these 5 parameters to make it more like a real tube amp. So these 5 characters make a real difference in this. So as I already told you about the sag, I always try to keep my sag at 0. The hum is, you will hear that hum sound in the tube amplifier, so this is the imitation of that sound. Ripple, honestly speaking, I'm not very sure about it, so I always try to keep it at 5 center. And bias, yeah, so bias and bias X. So what I know about bias X is this compresses the tone. So as you increase this, the tone will become more compressed, see, and it will become more even. So, and if you will decrease this, it become more boxy kind of thing. So I always keep my bias X at 5. It's a safe point, right? And the bias, so this bias is very very much similar to the master, not in a a same way, but they function a little bit like that. So these both things are related to power amp section. The tube means how much this bias is driving the tubes. So I like to keep it at, because if you will listen to the difference, see, if I'll increase this, again it is making the tone more aggressive in the sense like it is driving the power tubes more. So this is all again related to tubes, so that's why. So I like to keep it at around again 7. 7 is sounding washy to my ear, so I'll keep it at 6. Yeah. So bias is done. Okay, so now I was talking about the resonance. This is also a power amp section. So power amp parameter. So what I'll do is I'll keep the resonance down, because this will actually, resonance adds a certain quality. It's a bass, it's a low end thing, low frequency parameter. See, when I keep it 0, you'll right, and at 10 it's very woofy, so I'll keep it at around 3.5 or actually I'm using 5150 for a long time, and I know this amplifier really well in Podgo. So that's why the parameters are almost fixed what I'm going to use. 4 is a good starting point. So I think these are my settings for 5150. And one more thing, these settings are also dependent on the type of the kind of guitar that you are using. So for my guitar with DiMarzio Fusion Edges, these settings are sounding really well. And what I'll do now is I'll use a distortion pedal, and my go-to pedal for metal tones is the Horizon Devices, and this is my default setting. So that's why I set this pedal at the user default setting. So whenever I grab this pedal, it's always in the same setting. So I always like to keep my drive at 0, the attack at 4, brightness at 6, gate at 7 for the big metal rhythm. And if the metal rhythm is chunky, then I make it at 10. So it clamp down all that noise level at 10. And I also like to keep the noise gate on, the default noise gate that is there in this. So I'll always keep it at -48 for the metal tone, and normally I keep it at -60. So this is a good starting point, and here are my settings, as you can see. And with Horizon Devices, this is sounding like this. Now let's check the levels, how it's going. So from -5 point something or 6 dB, it came to -2.8 or 2.6 with palm muting. If you don't palm mute, it will never touch that -2 thing, because palm mutes are heavy. I messed up with my own riff. This is the Tri-Origin riff, and yeah, the next section sounds like this. Like that. So yeah, this is sounding good, and I'll share the patch, the same 5150 patch with you all guys. So I'll save this, and even you can make more snapshots. So snapshot making is really easy. You can name your first snapshot as riff, and if you want to make a lead tone, so you can make a lead tone just by going to the first you can add a delay pedal. My favorite delay pedal in this is the transistor tape. I always use that, and these are my default setting for this, because yeah, again I used the user default setting for this. You can use these settings if you like these. And also for reverb, I always go for the plate reverb. I'm not into reverb and the delay things too much. It's only for making the tone more. are my default settings for these two, delay pedal and the reverb pedal. And for the riff section, you don't need delay and riff. So what you can do is you can switch these off and save this setting. And for the lead tone, you can go to the lead and then you can turn these two on and then you can save it. So now what will happen is when you will go to the snapshot mode, you can just simply go to the riff section and play the riff section. Okay, and whenever you need a lead tone, okay, for lead, I always do one more thing. I increase the mids because I like that, mid-rangey lead tone. So for that, you can go to the lead and you can make it around here. And for the riffy section, you can decrease this. So this is how it works. When you see, this is the riff section with delay and reverb turned off, and this is the lead section with the delay and reverb turned on, and the mid is at 7. So now if you'll play some lead thing, see, so there is a delay trail going on, and then again. Now increase the and this is a riff. You can always experiment with this drive thing. You can keep it at 4 also. You got a nice tight rhythm. See, so this drive function is very important. How you keep it, how you want to make your tone, to sound like so. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. And here's the metal tone. I'm sharing this tone in the description. Also, I recently released my new song playthrough, the guitar playthrough, Adrenaline. So this is also there in my YouTube channel. Please listen to that song and let me know if you like the song. So thank you so much, guys, and peace. Thank you.